Namaste. Welcome to Subhu's Launch Talk. Hope all are doing fine. Today's topic of discussion is on don't cut the head for an headache. That is, you don't cut the head to resolve an headache. There are many situations where we panic, we become panicky. For example, you are organizing an event and at the last moment, the person you were relying to conduct the function says that he may not be able to come due to some problem he has to address immediately. So immediately one gets panicky. Similarly, if somebody wanted to do mechanical engineering but he never got admission into that course, then you become panicky. So under these circumstances, the first thing that comes to your mind is to hell with it. To hell with the event. That guy is not coming, I will cancel the event. I am not getting mechanical engineering, I will start not try anything else. You get into this panic mode, and in that panic mode you run like a chicken head cut. Otherwise, we panic so much that an immediate solution is to get rid of the problem. So say for example you have a headache and you have to resolve the headache. So in a panic mode, it is said one doesn't cut the head to resolve an headache, which means one should retain a cool. The plan A has not worked, look for plan B or plan C or plan D, which means in any panicky situation, don't take a decision immediately. Many a times you will find that you are facing a situation where you don't feel there is a solution. You are at a dead end. And then your mind keeps on telling yourself that there is no other way out. And you become very angry and sad. So when you become angry and sad, the first thing that goes to your mind is, I don't want to face this issue, or I want to get rid of this issue. For example, you have an exam tomorrow and you have not studied, and the previous day you panic and then you say, I will not sit for this exam. I don't want this exam. I don't want to study. I want to get out of this college. And in the bargain, you have not conditioned yourself to think other alternatives that are possible. I'll give you an example of my friend. My friend had cleared IIT. He had got the admission in IIT, and to get admission into IIT, you have to write the JEE. So he was enrolling himself for the master after the bachelor's degree. And to his shock, he found he flunked in the bachelor's exam. So look at the situation where he cleared IIT exam, but he flunked the bachelor's exam, and hence he will not be eligible to get into the IIT. Any other person, what would he have done? Normally, he would have panicked, gone into the panic mode, and of course he was very sad. Of course, he required time to for the thing to sink into his head. But he didn't allow himself to be dispirited. He, he asked himself, what next? So, in any panicky situation, the, the way out is to ask yourself, what next? And this friend of mine then saw an advertisement in Times of India for a salesman to sell space. That is, here there was an opening for a person to go around and pitch for ads for the newspaper. It was called space selling. And believe me or not, he took up that job and over a period of time did some certificate course in media in the same line, and today he is a CEO of a media firm. So you look at it. Today he is a chief executive officer. He is a CEO of a media firm which tracks the TRP. So this is an example of a guy who faced a situation where everything seemed lost, and yet he retained his head on the shoulder and asked himself, what next? And in the bargain, he could find a new opportunity which he took up, and today he has reached the position of a CEO. So, what does this mean for people like common people? It's just never quit and don't cut your head to resolve an headache. There is an headache, the situation has to be handled. So, one can take one tablet after another and try to resolve it. If you, in anger, it is said, don't take any decision. And when you are happy, it is said, don't make any promise. So when you are angry, don't take any decision. When you are sad, don't take any decision. When you are happy, don't make any promise. You know the short story of Dasharatha, who gave a promise to Kaikai to ask him a boon at the time and place she chooses. And then what happened? When Rama was to be coronated, Kaikai asked f- for the boon to be fulfilled, and Dasharatha was told that Rama will have to go to the forest because in happiness Dasharatha had given a promise. Having said this, there were some situations where we tend to panic and take some decisions which we regret later. Rather, in such circumstances, instead of being mind full of doubts, be mindful of keeping calm. That's why they say don't be mindful, but be mindful. What is the difference? Mind, don't be mindful is MINDFULL, and be mindful means MINDFUL. Mindful means being in the present and face the situation, asking yourself what next. Neither be worried of the future nor be anxious of the past. Be in the present. Be mindful of the present. What can I do now? That's why they said even if you want to correct a situation, the hierarchy you can adopt is Sama, Dama, Beda, Danda. That is, first try and talk, then remind once more, Sama, Dama, then create some doubts, and finally, even after all these things, if it doesn't work, give the Danda. So you don't start with Danda. You don't start with once you are panicking, this is it, the everything is over, no more future, no more future for me. I didn't get a job in this particular in this particular company. My life is over. I couldn't make it to this interview. My life is over. I couldn't pass this exam. My life is over. I I'm not. I didn't get in admission in an US university. My life is over. I missed the train and I couldn't attend the interview. My life is over. So it keeps on going like that. The person who was supposed to conduct the event has not come. It's all over. So since the mind swings from one end to another, it I it so you happy you are happily looking at something happening, and all of a sudden if it doesn't happen, the mind swings to the other end, and then it sort of puts pressure on you, and you tend to say सब कुछ चला गया, सब मिट्टी में मिल गया, सब गया, अभी आगे कुछ नहीं, over. I didn't get a promotion, my life is over. I didn't get a particular order, my life is over. So under the circumstances, one has three instruments within our mind body sense complex. What does this mean? This means that whatever whatever he does, he uses three aspects. One is his body. The body is required to be maintained in good condition. Then only you can attempt any work. or you can attempt to do something. So that is the first part. The body is one instrument. The second instrument is the mind. If the mind is the one which gives you the thoughts, and thoughts become actions. So second is training of the mind, and third is tongue, and in the tongue, speech, because through the words you are able to communicate to the world. So for a person to be focused and person to be a performer, these three instruments have to be taken care of most. So for the body, what do you do? For the body to be disciplined, you need to have a good sleep, exercise, sun, food. This will these things are important. Yoga, these things are important to discipline your body. Now what do you do for the mind? If the mind gets good thoughts, good qualities, good feelings, it requires good stories, good. See, in that case, to train the mind, you need to listen to sambhasham. Sambhasham means listening to good speeches, kathas. Once you listen to good kathas and all, your mind can be has can be nourished with good thoughts, which will help you to find good actions. Also, it will generate good feelings. You tend to know about yourself. You tend to know about others. You tend to know about what is your contribution, what you need to do. Similarly, you tend to know how to interact with the world. So mind, through different, when many say that I want to read this book, please suggest me this book, it means you are training your mind, and it is called sambhashan. And now what do you do for the tongue? The tongue is the most dangerous thing. It is said the words are more powerful than an arrows, and stinging more than an arrow. Why do you say that? Because the words sting, and once a word leaves your mouth, you can't trace it back. You can't take it back. It will create its damage. It will already create on damage. So that's why I say that you have to train your tongue. The tongue means speech. The way you conduct yourself, the way you put forward your ideas, the way you express your displeasure, the way you express your pleasure, the way you criticize, the way you appreciate, everything you do it with your tongue. And for that, they say you have to be in a satsang. What do you do in the satsang? You take good, you sing bhajans and other things. That trains your tongue. That's why all these things like yoga, sambhashan, and satsang were tools that were given by our ancestors as a Hindu parampara. This is the way you train yourself. This is the way they showed us that this is the way you can train yourself. And these three things are most important for you to be enjoy life, to contribute in life, and to be a good citizen. Having come to this world, one of your task is to leave this world better than when you came into this world. So you make an effort to make this world better than when you came into this world. This this is the template or principles that one should have when facing different kinds of situation. And today in this video I was talking about, in panic situation, don't run like a chicken head cut, and don't try to cut your head to resolve a headache. That is utterly foolish and utterly without any benefit. Rather, start, compose yourself, cool down, go for a walk, have a change of place. For example, when there is a heated argument going on in the house, and during that time some guest comes in, what happens? We forget that heated argument, and everybody sorts of finds an other track. So this has cut off that train of thought. So once you are in a cycle of panicky thoughts, you cut that cycle. You cut that cycle by going out, go for a walk, go and have some pani puri, change, or call some friend comes to you, talk talk to them, and change the topic. And after a composition, like for example, Hitler had one way of managing his army. Though Hitler is not an ideal to follow, but he had some management technique. And one of the technique was, in his vast army, if anybody wanted to complain about the other guy, he told them that they should not complain on the same day. They should sleep over it and next day complain about that person. So many times what happens, when you are angry about a person, and that and you go to sleep, the next day you find you are much more clarified and half your anger subsides. In fact, it took 90% of his, there was no complaints within his army by using this technique. So we can also pause when faced with panicky situation and rethink and redo the next day, so that that gap allows you to calm yourself and prepare yourself more intelligently to face what next. So with that I come to the end of this video with this, with the thought that never panic, don't quit, and always remember, don't cut your head to resolve a headache. If you like this video, like, share with your friends, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon for more such videos. Thank you. Good night. Take care.